do dialogue about what do we do? We've got one day. And what are we going to do?
Today is a bringing together of multiple sectors, so people from the K-12 education system, the university and college system, as well as government and non-formal sectors, all together to talk about how sustainability education in the province of BC.
We talked about a lot of the same things that you did at our table. And sustainability education is about more than what's on the test. It's about why this subject, this idea, this concept matters to us, the people who live in this place, and how is it connected.
The whole sort of notion of education and change is about sort of individual empowerment.
How are we going to do this? What are the opportunities for us to work together?
The idea is that 2 years ago they had a conference that talked about the principles of sustainable education, and there was a real need and a call for a group to get together and talk about action. How are we going to do this? We know what we need to do, we know when we need to do it, which is like yesterday, but we don't know necessarily how.
If I would change one thing in my school to make it greener, I would take on the carbon neutral challenge.
There's a lot of evidence indicating economics as it's currently taught is pretty ignorant about the environment, and that students may be coming away from these courses with perhaps not learning enough about how the economy and the environment interrelate.
If you're just looking at it in your science program and then your school you have cars idling outside of the school and you have no recycling and you don't even have a connection to even the land maybe that the school is on, then that's not sustainability education. It needs to be more holistic than that.
Also taking a hard look at what things are we teaching which are counterproductive to having a more sustainable future.
How do we actually get implementing this in schools and universities and colleges and connect those systems?
A lot of school districts are taking a lot of actions intentionally to support teachers, to provide opportunities for students to make some of those linkages.
SFU is definitely moving towards sustainability. There's some grassroots groups kind of trying to make it happen. There's a Sustainable SFU. We're definitely doing it for ourselves, but in terms of the curriculum, I'm not sure that it's actually a mandated thing, which it might be nice if it was.
So we have people who are working on how do we reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. We have people working on how do we restore streams that we maybe turned into sewers. Lots of different people, lots of dialogue, but it's a big issue. I think we've still got a lot of learning to do there.
Each little area of the mind map will have some icons for dialogues, partnerships, change agents, action plans, those sort of things. So I think that so far it's been a good success. People seem really engaged, everybody's got good body language and people are into it, and I'm hoping that by the end of the day the visual representation that we have of the dialogue will reflect the level of engagement and the action plans that come from it.
Also taking a hard look at what things are we teaching which are counterproductive to having a more sustainable future.
Sustainability is micro and macro.
We will start composting, recycling, reusing, reducing.
No bags, public transit as much as I can, organic food, the mug.
Composting, we're trying to get maybe some green roofs, more community gardens, stuff like that.
Business, I'm hoping to bring that more to the macro level and do more policy and planning.
And specifically respecting nature.
Sustainability education is making those real-world connections for learners of all ages.
Climate is changing how our forests are affected by the pine beetle, for instance. And also forestry practices affect how much carbon dioxide we have into the air.
What outside world learning opportunities there are right there to discover things like biodiversity in our own schoolyard.
Figuring out those interconnections and how they work to overall system sustainability is definitely part of the puzzle.
Every generation has a social change mandate that maybe it's thrust on them because of historical consequence, or it's something that they embrace, or a combination of factors.
This is what the opportunity is. We are here, this is a seed.
It's pretty easy to be sustainable, and it's pretty fun to be sustainable.
I feel empowered enough from this conference to start a compost program in our school.
Engagement and diversity.
But that idea of getting a group of committed individuals together and figuring out how to act together and develop sort of unique, sort of synergistic relationships is, I think that's the key to moving forward.